for man. Together, they are the Justice League, the most powerful force for good on this planet. They have never failed in their ongoing mission to protect the people of Earth. Although, to be fair, they've never faced a threat as dire as this one.
Ah, Superman, the very first superhero ever created. He made his first appearance in 1938, a year before World War II. Perhaps at the time the world needed a superhero. We have come a long way since then. Sadly, over the years Superman hasn't translated well into video games. Here we have Justice League Heroes for the PlayStation 2. To the point, I like this game. However, my brother who played the game with me could not stand this game. Now, let's break the game down and find out if it would appeal to you the viewer. At the end of the day, reviews are subjective, but I'll do my very best to provide some solid points. Developed by Snowblind Studios, who are known for dungeon crawlers such as Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance and Champions of Norath. They've simply taken what they know best and applied it to the DC universe. Story wise, well, to be honest, I don't have a clue what's going on. I'll be lying to you if I told you this, then that happened in detail. All I know, Darkseid is up to no good, and it's up to the Justice League to take him down. Superman must let go of his ego and learn that his team have his back. The cutscenes break up the game into chapters. Watching these make you feel part of an adventure.
I don't believe you're telling me the truth. You know the power of my magic lasso. No one bound by it can tell a lie.
If I were free, I'd tear you limb from limb.
I believe him. How can you be defeated?
Only within the Apocalypse Hypercube.
You mean this? Good to know.
If you want that lasso, I'd get it off of him.
Justice League Heroes is a linear beat-em-up with RPG overtones. You upgrade heroes' abilities as you progress, allocating stat points accordingly to enhance the hero's various attributes. This is a welcoming addition as it keeps the player invested into the characters. The combat for the game is decent. It feels like how a brawler should. You predominantly have two buttons which you press, X and O. You could press these buttons in a pattern to make for a chain combo. Holding the L1 button brings up the super moves. The super moves get mapped to the face buttons. Trust me, you'll need the superpowers as the game does offer somewhat of a challenge. The superpowers are effective and not simply a gimmick. The combat for the game is solid, however blocking is somewhat pointless as we can still take damage from most enemies. We can't simply spam special moves all day, no. We have a bar that limits this. However, both the health bar and super bar replenish itself once you're away from harm. It's quite handy since the bad guys do a lot of damage. A lot of the time you'll be running away from the enemies just to recover your health. Talking of combat, the bosses in the game offer a good challenge. A challenge without being cheap. You have to memorize their attack patterns. Fighting bosses ain't for the light-hearted. The last boss in the game, Darkseid, is hella hard. Like all epic battles, he gets resurrected a few times, similar to Tupac Shakur, the rapper. The stages have convenient pod-shaped checkpoints, which saves the game's progress automatically. Not only that, the checkpoints will resurrect fallen comrades, so this means no backtracking, making for great bite-sized gaming. Graphically, well, to be honest, have a look. What do you think? Looks like a PS2 game, right? Well, I certainly don't mind the graphics. I feel that the game still holds up. The art style is nothing but average. The colours are moody and dark. but in a way that suits the DC universe. My brother, who was playing co-op with me, was complaining about the graphics. He is a PC gamer, so we could ignore him. Once you complete the game, we unlock additional difficulty modes. That's great if you like to replay the same game again. This doesn't appeal to me personally, as I got plenty of other games to play. The game feels a lot like X-Men Legends, which came out 2 years before this. However, unlike X-Men Legends that has 4-player co-op mode, DC fans are limited to a 2-player cooperative game. Further, for most of the stages we have no choice as to which superhero we could choose before the level starts, so we are forced to play with the default character. The music for the game is, well, pretty crappy. It's very forgettable. It was my brother's biggest complaint with the game, the music feeling very uninspiring.
They need more energy.
The environments are lacking in creativity. They are not the best thought out levels. Pressing the right analog stick brings up the map. You'll need this often as the levels are poorly designed, not giving the player much sense of direction. The toughest enemy in the game isn't Doomsday or Darkseid. No, it's the camera. When I was playing, often the walls and narrow corridors would hide the player and I couldn't see what was happening. You have to constantly take control of the camera with the right analog stick. It somewhat hinders the gameplay. Further, the camera is too zoomed in, to the point of restricting your field of vision. Not only that, the edges of the screen would prevent player 2 from running freely, so you have to really make sure you're working as a team. If you're playing single player mode, you are still forced to play as 2 characters. Pressing up on the D-pad lets you switch between heroes. When you're not in control, the computer takes over. The AI is somewhat of a piss take, often blindly running into enemies. So despite how flawless you play, you have a f*** up on your team.
Concerned about our teammates.
I hear you, but don't worry. They can take.
Now, I have stated all the pros and cons for the game, being as objective as possible. My question is, are you interested in still playing this game? Well, for me, Justice League Heroes was a frustrating game at times. I completed this game and I could say it's worth a play, especially if you have a friend over. But be warned, your friend might not like the game as much as you. I enjoyed this game, and I could say it's the best game starring Superman I've played to date. But that's not saying much. Anyways guys, as always it's been a pleasure, and I want to thank you for watching and supporting my channel. Peace.